Deep in the jungles of Laos during the Vietnam War, helicopters thundered overhead while gunfire ripped through the trees below. Wounded soldiers cried out for help, smoke filled the air, and every second meant the difference between life and death. In the middle of this chaos was one man who refused to stop moving, refused to give up, and refused to let his brothers die alone. Shot, bleeding, and surrounded by the enemy, he kept crawling from one wounded soldier to another, dragging men to safety and treating their injuries while bullets tore through the jungle around him. For 4 terrifying days, this medic became the only thing standing between death and survival for dozens of men. His name was Gary Michael Rose, and what he did in those jungles became one of the most incredible stories of courage in American military history. Gary Michael Rose was a U.S. Army Green Beret medic serving with America's elite special forces during the Vietnam War. In September of 1970, he was part of a top-secret mission deep inside enemy-controlled territory in Laos, a place so dangerous that rescue was never guaranteed. When his unit was attacked by overwhelming enemy forces, helicopters were shot down and soldiers were badly wounded, Rose did not run. Instead, he ran toward the wounded. Even after being hit by enemy fire, he continued to treat, rescue, and protect his fellow soldiers. In this video, we will explore how one medic's bravery, skill, and refusal to quit saved countless lives and earned him the Medal of Honor. Gary Michael Rose was a U.S. Army Green Beret and combat medic. He served with the 5th Special Forces Group during the Vietnam War. His job was not to fight, it was to save lives. He was trained to work in the most dangerous environments imaginable, often far behind enemy lines with little hope of rescue, but nothing could prepare him for what happened in September 1970, when his team was sent deep into Laos on a secret mission that would soon turn into a desperate fight for survival. Rose's team was sent into Laos to track enemy forces along the Ho Chi Minh Trail. This mission was highly classified and extremely dangerous. They were far from friendly territory and surrounded by thousands of enemy fighters. Their only way in or out was by helicopter. When things went wrong, there would be no easy rescue. The men knew they were taking a huge risk, but they trusted each other, especially their medic, Gary Rose, who would soon prove how far he was willing to go to save them. Enemy forces attacked suddenly, and with overwhelming firepower, mortar and machine guns ripped into the area. Helicopters attempting to evacuate the team were shot down. Soldiers were wounded everywhere. The small special forces team was trapped with no safe way out. Panic could have taken over, but Rose stayed focused. While bullets flew, he rushed from one injured soldier to another, ignoring the danger to himself. The jungle had become a battlefield, and Rose had become the lifeline. During the chaos, Gary Rose was hit by enemy fire. He was wounded and bleeding, yet he refused to stop. Instead of seeking help for himself, he kept moving. He crawled through thick jungle and heavy gunfire to reach wounded soldiers, applying bandages, stopping bleeding, and comforting the dying. He was in terrible pain, but his only thought was saving others. Most people would have been forced to stop. Rose pushed forward, proving that courage is not the absence of fear, it is choosing to act despite it. For hours, then days, Rose treated wounded men in the middle of nonstop fighting. He dragged soldiers to safety, even when he had to crawl on his stomach through gunfire. He helped guide helicopters to landing zones, risking his life so injured men could be evacuated. Over and over again, he exposed himself to enemy fire so others could live. Each time he moved, he could have been killed, but he never stopped. His actions saved dozens of lives. When the fighting finally ended, the damage was clear. Many had been wounded. Some had been lost, but because of Gary Rose's actions, countless lives were saved. His bravery had gone far beyond what anyone could expect. He had placed himself in constant danger for days without thinking of himself. His fellow soldiers knew they had witnessed something extraordinary, the kind of heroism that defines the very best of the military. For his incredible courage and selfless devotion to others, Gary Michael Rose was awarded the Medal of Honor, the highest military award in the United States. It recognized not just one moment, but 4 days of continuous heroism. He had shown what it truly means to serve, not for glory, not for medals, but for the men beside you who depend on you to survive. Gary Michael Rose proved that a hero does not need a weapon. Sometimes all it takes is the will to save others. His story reminds us that bravery comes in many forms, and that one person can make the difference between life and death. His courage in Laos lives on in every soldier he saved. We remember him not just as a Medal of Honor recipient, but as a man who gave everything so others could come home.